Okay.
All right. Hey guys, how's it going tonight? We've got a very special guest for you tonight on the podcast. Myron Briley. Mr. Myron Briley is a rock star in the Subto community. This guy is really kicking some major butt, guys. Doing a lot of deals. He's taking down Subto deals like it's child's play. He set a really lofty goal for the month of July, and I'm really anxious to talk to him about that at hit $100,000 in assignments, I believe, for the month of July. So we're going to talk to him about that. We're going to talk to him about what he's doing, how he's scaling his business, and some of the things that he's doing to get where he's at. So Myron, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Lance. Super excited.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, as always, we like to kind of come in and just kick it off with a little bit of the background, right? So, I always say before we got here, before there was Sub 2, what was Myron and Carolyn like? Where were they? What were they doing? So, I guess just give us some of the background, Myron.
I'll give you a quick story. Let's see, how far back should we go? So my first job ever was working in car washing. And somehow over the last X amount of years, I stayed car washing. And I learned how to build them, run them, manage them, became director of operations for a company. We had 40 locations. And I, a little bit of drama happened. I was promised some equity that when we sold, I would get a piece of the pie. Well, they sold and I didn't. So I was after 15 years working with that company, I was done. And I was done in many ways. I don't want to work for somebody else again. I want to work for myself. So I started a small car wash consulting company. And that really wasn't the best. So we had just sold our house. And here in Texas, here in Dallas, we had a little bit of money in the bank. And so we said, hey, let's quit my job and learn how to do real estate. So that's what we did. The thing about me is I am a little bit risk averse. So I don't like to take chances, right? I was at my same job for 15 years. I just did the same thing. I thought I had it I thought I had everything I needed, right? So I told myself, the only way I'm going to do this is I'd put my back against the wall and give myself no other choice. So that's what I did. I gave myself no other choice because I knew that's what I needed. It's not the answer for everybody. Don't quit your job today. We need you. We need you to be a lender. We need your credit score, bro. So that's what I did. So that's been 2 years. 2 years April. I quit my job 5 days before my wife's birthday, April 29th. And she said it's the best birthday gift she ever got in her whole life. And so here we are. So I was doing car washing for a very long time and decided I'm done. And I literally haven't done anything car wash except for look at them when I drive by. That's it.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So what a change, right? I mean, to go from washing cars into real estate, it's a massive change to say the least. So you make the transition, you go into real estate, and what was that, right? So take us from there into, hey, this is my first, I guess like my first transactions or my first dealings in real estate. Was it Sub 2, whatever that may look like?
It was, we have a friend who's a realtor in Missouri. That's where me and my wife met. Carolyn and I met in Springfield, Missouri. And one of our buddies is an agent. And so we called him and said, hey, we want to get into real estate like right now. What should we do? he ends up owning, we didn't know this at the time, but he ends up owning like a 50-unit apartment, he flips single family homes. I was like, whoa, you do that? Okay. He goes buy the Burr book from Bigger Pockets and go to wholesale real estate meetups. I'm like, I have no idea what that is. So I went on YouTube and started looking at all that stuff. I got the Burr book. I killed it. I like was mowing the lawn, listening to it. Like any chance I got, I was listening to that book, thinking this was the answer. So we met some wholesalers, and sorry, my kid's walking in. So we met some wholesalers, and we found, Lance, you may know where this is, Greenville. Hey, baby. Greenville, Texas, just a little north of Dallas. We put $5,000 EMD on 2 houses on 1 lot. Built in 1930, and didn't know what we were doing. End up deciding, I don't want to do this. Found out the foundation was literally like stumps of wood, which is, I guess it's normal back in that time, but I was like, I don't want to deal with this because I'd have to replace all this, whatever this is. I don't even know. So we lost $5,000. That was our first deal, losing $5,000. It was to me, it was a good thing. Like, that's how this business works, right?
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, I'm like, I want a mentor. I want someone to kind of teach me what to do, right? A lot of people say, please, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Please, can I pick your brain? All those things. I was that person. So I'm going on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever I could do, and messaging people that were in real estate saying, can you please help me get started? Can you please help me get started? Everybody either said no, the nice ones told me no, and the not so nice ones said, well, what can you do for me? Get out of here. So I went to a meetup here in Dallas. It's like a Bigger Pockets shoot off. And somebody said, have you seen this guy, or have you seen Pace Morby? I'm like, is that an app? What is that? And so Pace Morby, looked up Pace Morby, and 2 days later I signed up. So, and then from there, 3 months into Subto, we won a contest to go visit Pace. And if anybody here is in Subto, I think you might understand this is like the first month, you're like, what is this thing? Like, why is everybody so excited? Why is everybody so happy? What Kool-Aid are these people drinking? And are they getting paid to be like this? Right? It's weird. And Carolyn was very on the fence. She's like, I don't even want to, this is weird. I don't like this. How much more money do you have to give them? All these questions, right? And so we were on a Q&A, and he said, whoever comments on my Instagram next gets to come. And so I went on there, like blazing fast speed, typed, hey, we'll drop the kids off at grandma's house in Mesa. We'll be there. He's like, are you serious? Well, anyway, we end up going. And that's when Carolyn finally saw the light, right, with Pace. And so we rode around in his truck and went to like 7 different flips. And he had Carolyn like hold the camera and do the lives, and basically involved her in Instagram lives, right? And we're 3 months in, we have no idea what's going on. So that for me was like the literal turning point of our life right there. That right there changed our life in a dramatic way. So once I had Carolyn bought in, once she bought in, it just went the way I liked it, the way I wanted it to go, where I have her really next to me. Damon, I don't know if that was a answer you were looking at, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's the perfect answer, and the reason why I asked that, right, is so everybody can correlate their story, right? Because I think that people find out we're not so different, right? We're on different journeys, but some of these pieces of the journey are very much the same. And my wife is very much that way, and I am very much just like you in terms of being risk averse. And and yes, I love the fact that you're honest about, we lost money, right? Having done this, and then we started reaching out. Same, right? I love that we have been some of the same places. So you meet Pace, and now everybody's bought in as a unit, I guess, in the Briley household, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, and so now that everybody's bought in, where does it head? I mean, are we now looking for sub twos? Are we looking for multifamily? Are we wholesaling? What's the
Yeah. So my first deal that I got inside a sub two was a sub two. It fell on my lap. So well, sort of. So what I did, I'm more integrator. So I like to be behind the computer versus on the phone. So what I ended up doing was I went on like Max Maxwell, Jerry Norton, Flip Rick Guy, Jamil. I went on all their YouTubes and started commenting on all their videos. Hey, I'm in Dallas. I'd love to meet you. Hey, I'm in Dallas. Love to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. I like try to get my name out there. And then I went to Facebook groups for foreclosure help. There's about 6 or 7 of them. And I would just put my name out there. Hey, I can help you. I can help you stop your foreclosure. I can help you. I don't remember what I said. It's been 2 years, but I went on all these Facebook groups, and one guy in Virginia said, "Hey man, I need help. Can you call me?" I was like, yeah. So, when you say like, "Hey, I can help you," you don't really know how to help them. I just knew that I could figure it out with the community. So that's what I did. This guy ends up being from a little tiny town up north of Richmond. And he goes, "I'm a truck driver and I drive trucks in Texas. And my girlfriend is up there with her kids in that house. And I can't make the payments anymore. I have to move to Texas back with my family." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay. Where in Texas do you live?" "Oh, I live in Dallas." "Oh, you live in Dallas?" "Yeah, I live in this little town. It's called Richardson." I'm like, "Bro, I live in Richardson. We live in the same city?" He's like, I'm at 635 or not 635. I'm at Beltline and 75. He's at Beltline and 75. We live in the same neighborhood.
Oh my
So
goodness, meant
uh
to be.
it was meant to be. That was my first deal. I go, this is how I close them. And I'm not exactly a closer either. I just said, how about I find somebody just to take over the payments? Okay, cool. What I'm going to do now is, like, I'm literally shaking, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you a contract. Just look it over. If you have any questions, give me a call. And I didn't walk him through anything. I didn't know how. And so I called Jabs Carter. Some of you may know Jabs Carter out of Dallas. He's like, "Bro, just send him a contract." I'm like, "Okay, how do I do that?" So he like walked me through how to send a contract. What I did, I didn't know how to get the sub 2 contract. What I did was I went to it's some website where you can like pick what state and you can get a state contract. I can't remember what it is. Forms.net. I don't remember what it is. But I got a Virginia contract and I put a sub 2 addendum on it. I thought that was the right thing to do. So that's what I did. I don't know if I filled it out right. I called Jonathan Newsom I think I called Jonathan Newsom 50 times. Jabs Carter probably 10 times. Someone else. I called everybody. I think I held Caleb Christer on the phone. when we were trying to, so we bought the sub 2, we closed on it. I wanted to wrap it at the same time. I'm sorry, we didn't close on it. I wanted to wrap it at the same time. I had Pace on the phone. So the reason why I go through all that is like, what is so cool is no one said, so how am I going to get cut in? How are you going to make me a part of this? How are you going to pay me? Like, if I'll help you if you JV with me. Nobody said that. Everyone said, yeah, do this, go call the attorney and ask them this question. Everybody just gave me guidance. And that taught me so much, man. It taught me that not everything has to be a paycheck. Sometimes you just need to help that person, right? And if you're 2 steps ahead, help that other person with those 2 steps that you know. I'm gonna go like that. Okay, sorry. So that was the first deal. The first deal was a sub 2 that we closed on. We wrapped at the same time. We like a double close. We got paid 12 grand and we cash flow $800 a month.
Amazing. So
Nice.
So let me get it straight. Going back and just like synopsis, right? So from time you started until the time you got the first deal, how long do you think that was?
I think it was 4 or 5 months.
Okay. So 4 or 5 months, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's almost like you've had a complete shift because you're very much the risk averse. You don't want to do, and now you're like fail forward. Like, I'm just gonna fail forward and make this work. Yeah, it's a total mindset shift, man. That's crazy.
I'm very much a fail forward person now. Like, even in our business, I'm like, let's just start it and we'll figure it out. I can't see the whole path. I can only see one step. So just take one step and one step and one step. And that's the only way to do this stuff. You can talk to Pace for 10 hours, but for me, I can't learn unless I actually make a mistake. I just won't learn. I'll understand the concept, but I won't actually learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, that's amazing because I think so many people, at least what I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're almost scared to take the first step. And if we can just get you to take the first step, right? Like, just get on the path. It's a journey, not a sprint. It's like so much can be accomplished. The world starts to open up to you because now you're in there and you're doing these things actively, right? So anyway, amazing, right? You've gotten your first deal. You're like over the moon. I've made $12,000, $800 a month. So did your mindset become, well, okay, I've done this. Now let's see if I can do more, or was it stay the path, or?
It was still very much beginning, right? So like, I made a decision. I'm like, I'm an integrator. I took the rocket fuel test. Okay. I'm stronger integrator, a little bit lesser visionary. And I had a lot of background in conveyors, right? If you talk about car washing. So I go, I'm going to set up people's conveyor systems. Who needs an integrator? So I made a post inside of Subto and I said, who needs an integrator? I interviewed like 4 or 5 other groups and ended up with another group, and I became that person's integrator, that group's integrator. So it was, yes, I want to do more, but I kind of need to, in my mind, I need to join someone's team. So that's what I did next. I joined someone's team. Bro, it was so, like, that first sub 2 was hard because we had no idea what to do, didn't know how to wrap, didn't know how to find a wrap buyer. We had other students help us with everything. That was great. But like, I need to have money coming in. So I want to join a wholesale team as an integrator. That was my next step.
So explain to me for those that don't know, what does an integrator look like to you? And then what does an integrator look like now that when you go to this team?
Yeah. So, and I didn't know what it actually was when I first started. I just said, hey, I'll do it. And what it ended up being was like pulling lists. So an integrator is basically like the yin yang to a visionary, right?
Mhm.
So a visionary is more like front facing, the person on the phone, the person who has these lofty ideas. And the integrator says, okay, cool, I like that idea, let's put it into action. So the integrator is more like, let's take the action to move the idea to fruition, right? So what I did is I joined this team. We had a couple of VAs, integrator, visionary, and I would pull the real estate list. I would put it into a CRM. I would run the messages. I would meet with the VAs every day and help them. All those, set up SOPs, blah blah blah. All those things where an SOP is like what to do 1 through 10, right?
Standard operating procedure.
Standard, yep. So I would do all those things, and we closed a couple wholesale deals that way. And hold on, Mike Baker, what's up, man?
Hey,
Nice
what's
to
going on?
So integrator, that's what I was doing at that time, was learning how to pull lists. I didn't know how, and I learned after I joined the team.
Okay, so now you're on the wholesaling team. You're learning how to pull lists, set up SOPs. And so are you also learning kind of the inner workings of the wholesale business as a whole? Or are you strictly just learning that, right? The integrator part of it?
Yeah. It was learning at every part, right? So the couple deals that we did, I was involved in every piece of it, dispo and everything. So we were working Ohio, Florida, Texas, like a bunch of different areas, not really too deep in any certain area. And Ohio, you all are talking about Ohio just a little earlier. Those houses are very cheap and they might need a lot of work. So sometimes they're just not deals, right? We're running across a lot of that. And so yes, I was learning pretty much everything I could. I was involved in all aspects.
Okay, so you're kind of learning the inner workings of the wholesaling business. You're putting it all together. Is there a time, which I'm sure that there is, right? Is there a time? Well, and two, you're earning money, so that's probably nice too. Like you're earning, some degree of funds there. But then you've got to start thinking to yourself, well, I think I know how to do this. Maybe I'm prepared or preparing to venture out on your own, or are you doing that on the side?
Well, I don't know if I can say this correctly. I don't like working with VAs. So I decided, like, hey, I don't really enjoy this. So I'm gonna go do multifamily, just like that. I'm gonna go do multifamily. We're gonna find multifamily deals, and that's really what I want to do. I want to be an investor with 100 units. I don't want to be messing around with like little single family, $40,000 houses in Ohio. There are great people that do that. Don't get me wrong. So just a decision that I made. And so I just started then. It was so we went to the mastermind with Pace, and some people there were starting to talk about mastermind. I think it was just they're starting to talk about multifamily at the mastermind, and it kind of sprung something in me. And so I just started like learning everything I could. I went to an event in Nashville, and God, who was that? I can't remember the person who threw the event right now, but learning as much as I could about multifamily and then talking about it. So you know how you like talk the talk, but don't really walk the walk, which is a lot of my story. That's what I was doing. Hey, come learn about multifamily on a YouTube live or something like that. Like I'm posting about multifamily, talking about multifamily. Got a little team together about multifamily. So that was the next step. I was doing small amount of wholesale and then just made a flip and said, no, I want to do multifamily now. So built a team on multifamily after that.
Nice. So let's talk about the learning curve on multifamily for you, right?
Okay.
So obviously I'm sure it's a different animal from wholesaling, but now you're trying to acquire or assign wholesale deals. You're having to learn all of that lingo, underwriting.
Yep.
What did that look like? It's
Um,
its own animal.
it was crazy. It was totally crazy. Like, what is all this? And underwriting was a little bit of a struggle, but if you like a napkin underwrite is the easiest way to talk about it, right? So like, can we get this thing to cash flow? Yes or no? That's pretty much all there is. There's no comps, you know what I mean? It's can we get this thing to cash flow? So since then, from after meeting Pace would talk about us on wholesale hotline. Pace would talk like Carolyn and me. He would talk about us on Sunday service, say our name, all these things. Like he would kind of boost us up. And so Carolyn and I then had a little bit of a brand and leveraged it, which I hope he's happy with. So we leveraged our personal brand to start learning about multifamily. And I said, I think I can do better at capital raising than I can underwriting. So that's what I want to do. I want to talk about, like, where you're doing a pitch, talk about the pitch to other people in an intelligent way. I think I can do that because I'm a little bit integrator. I understand numbers. I'm a little bit better at numbers, right? So that's kind of that's where my mind went, is like, I know a lot of people. I capital raise. I talk to people with money. Why don't I put it to use? Thanks, Lance. Lance says absolutely he's proud of you.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, brother.
You bet.
Yeah.
So underwriting, I want somebody else to do the underwriting while I'm better at generating the lead and finding money. So I can generate a crap ton of leads, but underwriting, I think Damon, you could probably do that better than me.
Oh my gosh, no. Justin AB is the guy in the room. He's an
Right.
underwriting machine.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk later.
Yeah, and I'm much like you. I think I'd rather go out and capital raise. I'm good at walking into a room and talking to people, right? And just, we're really just building a friendship first, and then, let's see if we can work together, right? So yeah. So, okay, so here you are, you're capital raising, you understand the numbers, you're going after, I guess, effectively the first deal, right? In multifamily. What does that look like? I mean, are you hunting a cash deal? Are you hunting a creative deal? If
Yep.
so, what did you want that to look like for you? And kind of maybe how you get that across the finish line.
Yep. So we were hunting for everything. Back when we started, rates weren't that bad. And so we would underwrite as syndication with some syndication with a little bit of debt, right? So like debt at, I think it was 70% debt and 30% 70% debt, 30% raising the money. A lot of them didn't work. So we ended up saying, we got to do seller finance. So we started talking about seller finance, looking for seller finance deals, looking for cash deals, started talking about it. What ended up happening was another student brought us a cash deal in Corpus. We underwrote it every which way. It didn't work. He wanted 3 million on a 30 unit. And so we got him on a Zoom and started talking to him. So the owner was on a Zoom, the agent, no, I'm sorry, there wasn't an agent. His son was on the Zoom, and our team was on the Zoom. And what ended up happening was he said, you know, the numbers that I gave you guys, I know it was literally on the back of an envelope where it was his rents. You know, he had like 600 in pencil.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And so just so you know, like when you get a rent roll from a multifamily operator, it's normally in an Excel sheet. His was not. It was like just like an envelope. So, and I said, you know, it's really hard to underwrite and look at the deal when I don't really know if the numbers are right. He goes, my numbers aren't right. My numbers aren't right on purpose because I hate paying taxes. I was like, so if you hate paying taxes, why don't we seller finance this? He's like, I'll seller finance this. Okay. And that's how we started that conversation. Is like, when you see someone with like numbers on a piece of paper they're handing to you, that's probably a good seller finance lead for multifamily, right? So I'm making sure that my do not disturb is on. Okay. So that lead came, like I said, Damon, that lead came from another student. We had been doing broker outreach for a long time, and another student. So that lead came from somebody who was a contractor in Corpus Christi, who was doing contract work at that complex, and started talking to the owner about selling his property. Ended up bringing it to us, and we took it from cash to seller finance.
Interesting. Okay, so I mean, you've gotten there. You've got now the workings of a seller finance deal. We've come from the beginning to this, right? Didn't know how to structure a deal in the beginning, didn't know a contract. But now here we are trying to structure a creative seller finance deal on a multifamily space, right? That's like leagues past where you first started at. So let's talk about how you went about structuring that to make it work, right? And then I think we're going to get into some of the more current stuff that you're working on, right?
Yeah. So I had no idea how to make that work. We were on a Zoom with the seller, and the negotiations went from 2.6 million, not cash, I'm sorry, 2.6 million, 7% interest, 30 years with $500,000 down. And I said, we just closed this was a total lie. Don't hate me. We just closed a 200 something unit in San Marcos on 50-year note with 3% interest. How do I get you to 3%? He said 7% is the going rate, you know, for some of these debts. I think that's a fair number. I'm like, well, I'm finding stuff for 3%. So he goes, okay, you know how we can get to 3%? Go back up to $3 million and I'll do the 3%. I don't remember what happened after that. I feel like everybody was yelling on the Zoom, and I was like, whoa, hold on. Let's go back and let's underwrite it. Let's make sure this still works. Because the rents are just crazy. They're like just $500 a month per unit. So we went back to the drawing table. So that night we were at their second mastermind. So that night we were at our second mastermind with Pace, and we went to dinner that night. It was the first night, and I went up to Pace. And I was literally like, hovering over him. He's like, "Hey, Myron, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Bro, you're going to be so proud of me. I just closed a 30-unit multifamily deal in Corpus Christi, a 50-year note, 3% interest, 10% down." He's like, "I'll buy it." So I'm like, "I don't even know if this thing works, man. Let me." He's like, "It doesn't matter, dude. It's going to be great." So it was quite a bit of conversation after that. I think it was like 2 or 3 months of conversation after that of figuring out how to structure it. So to answer your question, Damon, Pace's team basically took that, got the contract drafted, showed us, we got to see the contract, we got to further negotiate. We ended up negotiating another 3 months, no payments. And the down payment went from 300,000 down to 150,000. So we negotiated that even better. And that was like through Pace's guidance, right? And now we're doing rehab on it, and we're in the Slack channel with them, learning about what's going on with the rehab. So as far as like putting all that together, it was Pace's team that said, "Hey, this is what this looks like." So we're getting like another little mentorship on that 30 unit.
Man,
Jade.
Wow.
that's amazing, right? Because you're getting all of that experience and knowledge handed off to you, which I think is super cool, right? It speaks to Pace and Pace's community. He really. I've had people ask me, "Well, what's Pace like when you meet him?" And I'm like, he's exactly like he presents himself. He is no different, right? He is an absolute go-giver all the way, which I love about him, man. So, man, amazing, right? Like baffling how you go from car wash to now that, and now, you get this deal closed, and like let's move kind of what I'd say is now into the present, right? Because I think that that's kind of where you're currently at.
Yep. Shortly after that, I think 3 or 4 months after that, we got another lead for a 40 unit in Knoxville. We closed that with interest only payments for 5 years, 30-year 30-year amortization, a 5-year balloon, interest only. It cash flows a little bit right now. We're doing rehab, we're flipping it, and I think we're gonna sell it off in 5 years. So we have 70 units now, and that's with partners, right? And we end up closing the end of last year. We closed on hold on, what month is it? No, the beginning of the year. I'm sorry. The beginning of the year, we closed on 3 more sub-2s. So we have 74 doors right now.
Amazing, man.
And
That's amazing.
and very lucky. The sub-2s were, so here's what happened. I met a lender. So I've been like raising money. So getting the 40 unit, we had to raise money. We raised $500,000 for the CapEx part, plus the down payment. And so we had to learn how to raise money. We learned how to do pitch decks. I joined another capital raising mentorship just to learn how to do it properly. There's some stuff you have to learn so you don't get in trouble. I don't want to get into that, like go look at SEC guidelines.
Sure.
But we had to learn a lot. So I joined another mentorship to learn that. And doing all that, I met another lender, and I said, I want to start a wholesaling team. Actually didn't ever want to start a wholesaling team. I just wanted to like go grab things, cherry pick stuff and buy it, right? But what happened on the 40 unit was we were not flat broke, but we were pretty broke. So I probably had maybe $5,000 to put in that deal. And that's a problem. When you're wanting to take on multifamily deals, you should put some of your own money in your own deal if you're going to go ask other people to do it. And that was a hard conversation. I hated that. What I hated was I wasn't able to, right? I wasn't able to drop 50K into that deal. And I said, that conversation will never happen again. I'm going to start a wholesaling team. So in about 1 week, I brought on 4 people onto the team. And it was literally anybody who said yes, come on, let's go, which is not what you should do, but that's what I did. You should vet people that you work with. So I didn't care. I just wanted to start, right? I fail forward. So I think one of those people are still on the team. Everybody else has left. And in doing that, I met a lender. Her name's Sonia. Sonia went out. She's a very strong visionary. She's from South Texas, very twangy, and she can close deals. And I would love her. So here's why I double love her. We had some deals in the pipeline that we didn't find a buyer for, or our buyer backed out the day before closing. Some of those things happened, right? I'm sure you've experienced that. And Sonia saved the deal. I said, Sonia, I have this deal in Houston that the buyer backed out yesterday and today is closing. So can you help me close this deal? It's a very beautiful house in North Houston in Montgomery, brand new. The guy lived in it for 4 months. It still smelled like a new house. And she ended up lending us the money, $47,000, I believe. She lent us the money and we closed on that deal. We're getting the wrap buyer done in 2 or 3 days, finally closing on that wrap. But she saved our butts. So now think of this. I owe Sonia 47 plus 10%. I had her land on 10%. And I go, oh crap, I owe her a lot of money. And what if I don't get my wrap payment where I need it, where my down payment? If y'all don't know what that means, is I'm gonna take over a house subject to, and I'm gonna sell it on seller finance at a higher rate. I might get a down payment so I can pay my lender back. Well, just so you know, the down payment does not cover completely what I owe her on that house. So basically, doubled whammy. I want to be able to invest in multifamily, and I want to be able to pay back my lenders. So I turned up the volume. I turned up the volume on wholesale because I'm like, I cannot fail. I literally cannot fail this. So kicking butt, end up building a team. Actually, Jade is here. Jade's on our team. She's a closer. If y'all don't know her, please connect. There's her Instagram on her name right there. But so built a team. Now we have a team of something like 12 people. We need some more callers on the team, but we're sending a bunch of offers. I don't know how many offers we're sending a day anymore. It's somewhere around 15 to 20 offers every single day. And we have a team that we only work sub-2 deals, mainly in Texas. Sometimes we'll go to Georgia, sometimes we'll go to Missouri, sometimes we'll go to Florida, but we're mainly Texas based. I mean, that's basically it right now. So built up our team because of we had to put the rocket boosters on, man. We got to pay back the people that we owe money to, and we want to invest and buy more deals.
Okay, so that's where you're currently at. You're building the wholesaling team. Are you mainly focusing on wraps? Are you trying to purchase like sub two, low equity, no equity, foreclosures, everything, any flipping? Like what's the
Not really interested in flipping. We do have a flip going on with Jabs right now in Fort Worth. I'm not super excited about flips right now. That's just me. It's probably my risk averse talking there. So we bought that house, 575,000 in Fort Worth, and we rehabbed it, put 300K into it, and it's listed at 1.3, 1.2. We had to drop it. Another reason why I'm not super excited about cash deals or flips, just not really sure what's happening, right? Where a sub two, I think so out of the couple months that we've been working wholesale sub two, I think 6 months, something like that. 6 months we've had a wholesale team. I think I've canceled 2 deals out of all the deals we've had under contract. I hate saying that, but they just didn't work. I locked them up bad. Everything else I've got done. So shoot, Damon, I forgot your question.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And I normally ask questions with like multiple answers in there, so it's hard to keep up, man. It's okay. So I'm interested in if you're focusing on the sub twos, it sounds like mainly, you know, wraps is or wholesaling those sub twos is where you're at. Are you focusing on like no equity, low equity? Are you focusing on foreclosure? Like
Got
where
it.
are you?
So the list that I pull is on market, low equity. So I want to talk to agents because they typically get back to you, or it's easy to get their phone number, basically, is what I wanted low cost. So I can pull that list and have all the agents' phone numbers. Jade says, do they though? Yeah. Well, for the most part, they answer. So I can, if I skip trace, I get 6 phone numbers for one seller. None of those 6 phone numbers will answer, right? Like that's a lot of what we deal with direct to seller. We do direct to seller as well, but we get better answer rates from agents. Jade will argue. She's an agent, by the way. So that's our main focus is agent outreach, low equity. I don't care about days on market. I call them at 1 hour on market. I'll call them.
Okay. Okay, so you're mainly focusing on low equity, no equity, and let's talk about let's talk about how you're approaching the agents because I think everybody's interested in that, right? I am an agent in Houston, and so you know I go through some of those same phone calls on a daily basis. So kind of talk me through, right? Like what that sounds like for you when you're trying to put together that deal for the agent, because what I find, and it drives me crazy, is that agents are like deer in headlights when it comes to this stuff. And very many of them you have to hold their hand and somewhat walk them through what this is, because I always get, oh, so you want to assume the loan. No, that is not what we are after here, right? Like,
Yeah. So just like to start out, just so you know, I never say sub two. Through the whole transaction, I don't say subject to or sub to, because it doesn't matter. Nobody knows what that means. So what I end up saying is, so let's say I pull up a listing, and Damon, I'm not great on the phone, but this is basically what I do is I'll look at the house, I'll call them and say something like, oh yeah, I was calling about 123 Main Street, that normal address that everybody calls. And I was looking through the photos. I just want to make sure it's still available, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like they did some updating to the kitchen. Damon, they did a good job. Oh, did you take these photos? Well, you did a good job. Oh, you didn't take them? Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, you hired the right person. Okay, cool. The bathrooms, oh, did they forget to flip the bathroom? They didn't update the bathroom. It's still pink tile. That's cool. I like pink anyway. My daughter's like pink. That's cool. Okay. Well, hey, it looks like they didn't own this house for very long, huh? They were in there for less than a year. Okay. Are they still living in the house? Oh, it's vacant. Oh, so they're still having to make a payment. Oh man. Okay, that sucks. Well, sorry. That is what it is. Okay. Um, well, here, I want to make an offer. This is what it will look like. I want to pay your commission. I'll pay 3%. I want to put some money in the seller's pocket, but I want to take over their mortgage payments. Oh, yeah, I know that sounds funny. That sounds weird. I know. Well, I'm going to send you an offer. I have your email here. Or can I get your email? Whatever it is. Okay, your email's amazingagent@gmail.com. Perfect. Okay, got it. I'm going to send you an offer. Check it out, look at it, print it out, put it under your pillow, hug it, figure it out, and we'll talk tomorrow. Is 9 a.m. good? Okay, cool. We'll talk tomorrow at 9 a.m. I know you'll have questions. Okay, talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. Bye. That's every single call I do. It's exactly like that. Mm-hmm. Damon, you're going to have a different call. But that's basically what I do. I'm going to take over their payments. I don't say Subto. I don't say anything I don't say, would they like a creative finance offer? Would they be open to a creative finance offer? The answer will always be no. Mm-hmm. So it's Joel asks, what about third-party stories? We will always have third-party stories, bro. So my goal in that first call is to get an offer in their hands. If they want to continue that conversation, that's great. I want to continue the conversation. So
are you using standard purchase agreements with the Subto addendums when you send those over, or are you using a Trek contract with the Subto addendums attached? How are you approaching?
Yeah. So a lot of what we do first is send an LOI. So we designed our own LOI for Thrive Mode, our company, right? So we'll send like a little custom LOI. And so then from there, it will be a contract, right? And during the conversation, we will ask the agent if their broker requires to have a state contract. So like Damon, what brokerage are you with?
Yeah, I'm with a brokerage called Gray Square out of Dallas.
Gray Square. Okay, so you can take creative contracts at Gray Square, right? Yep. So, but if you said Keller Williams, what would that answer be?
Absolutely not. They have
to have a track. Right. So if I know typically if they say Keller Williams, they have to have a track. They won't close. They'll delete the spam, which is your email, if it has a creative contract in it. Mm-hmm. They'll tell you it was spam, so I deleted it. They'll never present it. So depending on who it is, so we try to build some rapport before we send the contract. And I really like to get the mortgage statement before I send a contract. Is that every time? No, there are some times where we just feel like being a boss and send a contract with estimated numbers, right? So it depends on the situation. There are some times where Jade will tell me, hey, this agent is ghosting us. And I'll go, send him a contract, send him a check. Like, let's fill out the state contract. Let's get their attention. A lot of times they'll call you back within 48 hours. They'll call you back because it's almost like they have to, right? Just to get an answer. What's going on with this one? That's kind of like a typical move of ours where we'll send a contract if something's not getting the response rate or the quickness that we want. Mm-hmm. I know Joel's going to come in here with a bunch of questions. We'll try to get.
Oh man, yeah, and guys, by the way, we're getting to that. I'm about to open it up for questions. I know Miron, fantastic man. He will love to answer your guys' questions. So So I'm gonna wrap up with you. So let's just talk about where you're currently at, Myron, because I think it's amazing, right? You've just done some really amazing things, man. Like you obviously from multifamily now to this, and you've grown what I would consider a very stabilized, wholesaling business out of nothing, right? So it's amazing. So
Mhm.
let's talk about where your business currently is in terms of, I think we were saying earlier you set a goal for yourself. You've hit that goal, I believe, and now you're probably setting another goal. So if you don't mind kind of filling people in on that as much as you want to talk about it, obviously.
Yeah. I'm pulling up my numbers right here. Hold on a second. I'm getting my little P&L
Well,
statement.
guys,
So,
you can't get much better than that. He's pulling actual numbers. So
um, okay. So July, Damon, we did not hit our goal. For the business, we brought in $70,000 and our take home was $40,000 last month. August is going to be, August is already set to do that same amount of business. So I already have pegged another $70,000 in August already. And it's the 3rd of August. So I think August will hit it. It's just as timeline moves. So a lot of our business from July moved into August, right?
nice.
Things get
You get the
delayed.
carryover. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So I think if everything would have closed, I would have got closer to my number. Just things move, right?
Well, maybe in
So
August you'll like blow it out of the water. It'll be like a $200,000 month, and it'll make up for July. So
yeah, I hope so. But here's what happened. Can I tell you why I decided to do that? I mean,
absolutely.
it's pretty apparent, like, oh, everybody wants to make $100,000 a month. But we were talking to Pace. Oh, I don't remember why we had Pace on the phone. I remember now. We got invited to do a podcast with someone on a recurring basis. And part of the deal with that person was that we would bring in deals and split the deal flow with them. So they would run the cameras, they would have the studio, all those things, but it would be Carolyn and mine's show. And it would be, hey, as deals come in, we'll have a form. I'll take whatever. I don't remember what the split was. And so it was somebody that Pace knew. We gave Pace a call. Here's what he said. He goes, listen, you need someone else to keep you consistent on doing social media. And this is why I'm better than you, because I'm way more consistent than you. And I'm also way more strategic than you. Do you think I went to Grant Cardone's office by mistake? Like I didn't know where I was driving. I pulled up to Grant Cardone's office. No, it took me 2 years of planning to get to Grant Cardone. I had to start a TV show. And I was like, F. Okay. So I go, I'm going to go live in July. I'm going to set a goal for $100,000. Dude, and he was right. He's absolutely right. I think I went live half of July. We went to California. I'm making excuses. I didn't go live every day. We went to Montana. I didn't go live every day. But it's almost like I'm setting these goals and I'm getting like here. I'm getting like almost there. And it's the consistency of it's all mindset. Your mindset has to be there. You have to be like so determined. It doesn't matter. I went to California, doesn't matter. I went to Montana, doesn't matter. right?
Mhm.
So like, stop making excuses, Myron, and do the thing that you said you're going to do. Oh man, Jerry made a great post about doing what you say you're going to do. Did you guys read that?
Yeah, I just saw that, as a matter of fact.
Dude,
Super powerful, right?
that hit. Doing what you say you're going to do is like, anyway. So I think that's my missing piece. Like, as of right now, I didn't hit my goal, Damon, because I wasn't consistent.
Mm.
So we ended up hiring another person in our business just to send offers. We were getting so many leads, 30 a day, and I couldn't keep up. I'm like, I need an underwriter just to like underwrite a deal and send the offer, so I don't have to do that. It's a lot of time, dude. And I do dispo. So I'll sell the deals and underwrite and close sometimes and send, like, there's a lot of crap and there's a lot of stuff that you have to do to run these deals. And like, sometimes the deals don't work. It takes longer to dispo. And like, now I pulled a multifamily list. You want to underwrite 30 multifamily deals in the next 2 days?
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of work. Just a little bit. Yeah.
The cool thing is they're all seller, but
yeah, I mean, like, I think what, but probably we all come to that place, right? It's the realization that we have to free ourselves to do the $10,000 an hour things, and then put people in place to do the $10 an hour things to free ourselves so that we can focus in on the goal. But it is a struggle always in the business to figure out how to do that. How do you grow and then put those things into place? So I respect your pain, man. I want to open this room up to some questions. I know that there are a lot of people with questions in here. Guys, raise your hand, and we'll get you opened up to ask some questions for Myron, if you don't mind hanging out.
I would love
just
it.
answering some questions for folks. So yeah, guys, feel free. Raise your hands. I know that there are some people in the room that are looking. I know Juan is one of those as well. He's been looking forward to this show. I know that for a fact. So
Amazing.
yeah, guys, raise your hands and let's get to you, man. Juan,
Let's go, Juan.
There you go, Juan.
All right, Juan.
How you doing, brother?
How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on, brother. I appreciate it. I know we were talking over Facebook, and I was really excited about getting you on, especially, this journey that you're on, because I've been wholesaling myself. Started in 2019, part-time. I've been in IT for about 26, 27 years. And I finally decided in 2022, January, that was it, man. I'm gonna jump off the cliff. And so I've been doing, wholesaling now full time, as really just kind of riding myself with the VA. So when you talk about the VA, I was actually fortunate that I have a good VA. I've had her now for really a couple of years, and so she's been consistent. She's been there. The only time that she hasn't been there is whenever a hurricane hit the island, and it just she's unavailable, right? So that's one of the reasons why having a VA is kind of an issue. But so I appreciate you, dropping nuggets, just, being transparent. That just is big to me when people can be transparent and share their story, share the wins as well as the losses, right? And so I was really excited about hearing, because that's one of the things that I had a vision for as well, is when you mentioned branding. I think Pace is already talking about maybe bringing out a branding course. And how important that is, right? And so one of the things I've been really thinking about is how do we get to that next level of branding? Because you mentioned that you were kind of a little hesitant about it, right? And what's helped you overcome that barrier, really, to get yourself out there and finally start leveraging that brand, right? And then after that, I'll ask another question after people go, because I definitely want to get into the weeds of how you're doing all of the wholesaling stuff.
I'll love to get in the weeds with you, man. So like branding for me is, I mean, that's how I got my first deal. I think I went to all these YouTube gurus and started trying to, snipe their audience, go into all these Facebook groups, trying to snipe people who are in foreclosure. And if people don't know you or people don't know what you do, you're not going to make any money. And for me, I think what you just said was you were in IT for 15 years and you just quit.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Well, actually 26 years, and I quit January of 2022 to do this full time. I appreciate that, man.
I was in the chat. Right. So once you make that move like that, you have no choice but to brand. You have no choice but to shout it, right? So like if people don't know what you're doing or know who you are, they're not going to send you JV deals. They're not going to, you're literally leaving $100,000 a month on the table.
Ooh.
So if you don't, do you have an Instagram one?
Bro, I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a Twitter X account. That's honestly, I was really excited about this whole branding course that Pace was bringing out, because I was like, finally, I'm going to be able to do this.
Yeah. So get an Instagram and just go live. Just go live once a week and just talk about what you're doing. You don't even do hashtags, dude. Just start following people and you're going to get a couple followers, and just go live and just because Pace is doing a course, it doesn't mean it's not the key, man. You are the key. So the branding course is going to be how to leverage what you're doing. You need to start doing, please. You can, for me, like the multifamily stuff that we did, the only reason we got those 2 deals was because of how we were talking about it. Another student found the deal on both of them, brought us the deal because of branding.
Right.
So that's just, we started going, oh crap, we're getting deals because of this.
Right.
And so then it's like, people start asking you questions. So you've been doing this a lot longer than me. And what's a normal question that you get from other people? One, like, how can I get started? Right? Like, what's a normal thing that people ask you?
Yeah. How do you get started? How do you underwrite deals? Right? How do you find the deals?
Okay. You just named 3 courses that you can make.
Oh, wow.
So those 3 questions that you just asked, what everybody asks you: how do you underwrite a deal? How do you get started? I don't remember your last one, but it's like, create a course. And how many people are going to get value from a guy who's been doing it as long as you, from a little course, even if it's free? Right? Just how to bring you more deals. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a course on how to bring me more deals. I'll bring our team more deals. Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it, brother. It's good.
Yeah. So that's it. You had another question, I thought.
Well, I have some more technical stuff to go to, but I'll let some of these guys go real quick.
All right, bro.
Thank you.
Joel Shilpy. I want to make sure I get that right. I don't butcher your name, man. Let me can we get Joel unmuted, guys? There we go. All right, go ahead, Joel.
Myron, how you doing?
Love you, man.
Doing good. Missed you this morning. I didn't get up early on time.
You got to get up at 5. Join the 5 a.m. club with us.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I just want to bring that point up. Nina said this morning after I brought that up, she was like, 90% of the successes are showing up.
Yeah.
90% of it. And I realized as much as I'm in wholesale hotline and everything else, I'm not like exactly, I don't feel like I'm showing up on time. Like I haven't followed up with the agents, some of the agents like from the past 3-4 weeks. Like they said send an offer, but I haven't even followed up because I feel paralyzed in a sense. So I'm like,
Love it.
I'm just trying to understand how to get over all that stuff and like understand which direction to go in. Like
Yep.
I'm just like, there's so many things. It's like I need to build my brand. I need to get out to more people, bring
Yep.
those leads. And a lot of people know who I am now, like compared to last year.
Bro,
So-
everybody knows you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
is
spam chats.
Isn't Joel the guy that picks up everybody at every single one of these events? Right?
Joel, the things that you get paralyzed to do, go find somebody else that will partner with you and do those things.
Mhm.
That is what you have to do.
Gotcha.
Who wants to make a post? You make posts all the time, bro. Who can follow up on my leads? I have 50 in this chat right now. I know Jade is trying to hawk your deals right now. But who in this chat right now wants to help Joel follow up with 50 leads? Jesse,
There you go.
Juan,
Yep.
Lance. Like there is probably 10 people out of 20 people on this thing that will help you. You cannot do this by yourself, and you're trying to, and you're not going to do anything. Everybody here loves you, and we will help you. You just have to say, I need help.
Yep. That's the hardest part, actually, asking for help.
I know.
I don't know what it is. It's like you feel like you're asking in a different way. Like sometimes you don't feel like you're bringing much into the table at the same time. So I think that's where I've been stuck lately. So like
I
before,
hate calling sellers. I hate calling agents, like the cold call stuff. I hate it. Hey, who wants to make calls on we need 8 people on our team. Who wants to make calls for our team? I need 8 people right now. I can get 8 people in like 2 days. You know what I mean? And what does that do? Does that mean I fail? No, it means I'm building a business. So build yourself a little team, man. I can make calls, but I don't want to do the follow-up. I need someone to follow up and close the deal. Boom.
Mhm.
So just go on Instagram and say, hey, who wants to follow up on my deals? Go into these Zooms. Who wants to follow up on my deals and partner with somebody? Hey, can we jump on a Zoom tomorrow at 10 a.m. or whenever you roll out of bed, bro?
Yep.
Joel will be up at the crack of noon.
I gotta get up more earlier now and stop overthinking things.
Yeah, just have somebody else do it.
Yep.
You're getting paralyzed. You're generating the leads. Have somebody else follow it up. Have somebody else, or if you want to dispo it yourself, but you need, wherever you're getting stuck, grab somebody else who's good at that. That's literally all the businesses.
Not gonna lie though, dispo seems like the easiest part because like now I know a lot of people, so I can just like find hundreds of people like in an instant.
Yeah, but do you have them in a list where they want to buy?
That's the problem. I don't have that.
Okay,
Like
that's
those type of things, the list, because all those, like I'm not organized. That's the major problem with me.
Yeah. So if you want to dispo, you have to be organized.
Yeah.
It's a lot of integrators actually do dispo because it's a very organized thing, and it's a lot of numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you're very much a connector, my brother. So if that's what you want to do, then go find other people who want to do the acquisition side and build yourself as a dispo person. That's exactly what I did.
Mhm.
You have to start connecting with more people as building a team. You have to commit to me right now that you're going to do that.
Yep. Committed.
All right, go do that, man. It's important. I need you back on Sunday, not Sunday, sorry. I need you back on Get Creative. We need you back.
I need to get back on there. Waiting to see when he does the next one.
Man,
You know what? Actually, let's do this. I don't know how many are interested in doing this because Pace challenged me on this. How many will be willing to go live with me every day?
To go what time?
Let's see, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Central. Calling agents, sellers.
Okay, who wants to go live with Joel 2 o'clock every day calling agents?
I can switch
Who
around
wants to
people.
go
That is not a
live,
problem.
guys? It's got to be somebody in the room that'll do it.
Jesse.
Jesse, she'll do a day or two. Jesse's a beast, by the way, man. She's
Oh,
a great
yeah.
person to call for you. Yeah.
Jesse, Lance, they're awesome.
Yep. There you go,
Okay,
man.
you got one. That's all it takes. One.
Yep.
Juan is
Mike.
down. Now Mike Baker is down. Well, it looks like you just picked up 4 people.
Bro.
Mine is going Tuesday, right? You also do Tuesdays, right? Live.
Me?
Just
Jade.
Oh,
you just built yourself a team.
Sweet.
I love it, Joel. Good job, man.
Hey Joe, I'm gonna add. I'm not stealing Myron's thunder at all, but I'll add to this. Right, I always use this story. Having done 3 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, I was in the military for 16 years. Right, and when I ended up injured in Iraq, I came home as a homeless veteran. I lived on the streets of Houston for 4.5 years out of the back of an SUV. Why did I do that? Why do you think that I did that?
You get uncomfortable.
No, I was scared to ask for help because I was used to 16 years of doing it on my own, right? That's what the military teaches you as a sergeant. You take care of everybody else. And I needed somebody to take care of me, right? And so one of the best things that I ever learned, just to add again to what Myron has said, is you got to get over that fear of reaching out and asking for help because we all need it.
I
All of
agree.
us.
Yeah,
man.
there's been a lot of things. I just don't tell everyone, but the heavy accountability is the only reason I started some calls. Like I may not have been consistent, but thanks to Pace last 2 weeks ago, he's like, make the calls. I
Yep.
think that's the only way, accountability.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
All
you,
right,
Daniel.
Joel, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Hey, Justin.
Thank you for your
come on
service.
down. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Our veterans
Justin, come
are
on
must be
That's a
appreciated.
powerful story too, Damon. The part about the help, I think that's really resonates for sure. What's up, Myron? Good to see you, man. Good, thank you. So you guys got started a few years ago. You're focused on acquisitions, wholesaling. You got into multifamily, and now you've gone back to wholesaling. What was the change from multifamily back to wholesaling, or how? And I know that you guys are trying to do all the things, right? And so how do you find it trying to organize the focus, right? We all try to do so many things. We're entrepreneurs. We're going after wholesale deals, multifamily deals, single family deals. We have to do the social media. We have to do all of these things. How do you organize all that so that you can find the time to do those things?
Okay. So I went from multifamily back to single family because I was broke. And if you want to do multifamily, you need to put money into your deals. Even though a lot of people say, hey, you can do multifamily with no money down. Lance probably has a deal like that going on right now. But like, I wanted to do bigger deals and put my own money in my own deal so that I can easily go raise money. Hey, I dropped $100,000 in this deal. Do you think I believe in this deal? Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it makes it easier to raise money if I'm able to put money. And I'm like, we had a very hard conversation on the 40 unit deal because I did not have the money that I wanted to. And I go, this will never happen again. This conversation will never happen again. I wasn't going back to car washing. I wanted to do wholesale. I want to stay in real estate. Flipping takes a long time. So wholesaling I can get done very quickly.
Right.
So that is the reason why I went back to single family. And it was really more like I was building a little cake or something like that. I was putting layers on.
Yeah.
For me on social media, I made it. I made time every single day to go live, even for 5 minutes. I'd like to go 30 minutes, but I want to go live every single day. So the reason why I go live is because I don't want to sit there and edit for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are times where I edit and build something a little nicer, but I think it's because I'm a little more integrator. I want to just get things done quickly. Like I'm an efficient person. I want to do things efficiently, and live to me is very efficient because I don't have to edit, right? I just go live and talk about stuff and hopefully people listen.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when we went to Montana, I had a lot of footage and I wanted to put something together a little nicer, right? So I did a community camp reel. Okay, so how do I make time? I schedule time on my calendar. So 8 o'clock every morning, I aim to go live on YouTube. So another thing I want to do is get my YouTube to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 600. I mean, Carolyn and I, it's our group, little team YouTube. So we're at 600 subscribers. We want to get to 1,000. We want to get our watch hours. So I go, hey, I want to get my watch hours up. I want to get in some more leads into our team. Hey, Jade, do you want to go live for like 12 hours? And she says, okay. So we went live for 12 hours on YouTube. That's not exactly, you can't do that every month or you can't do that every week. A couple months here and there, do a live for three hours or something like that, do a 1 hour live, put together a topic and do things like that. My aim is to get my YouTube to generate income and to generate deals. So I'll talk about my deal website. Jade goes live every Wednesday, right? So she says, hey, here's my website, send me deals. So I want deal flow. I want YouTube revenue, right? So I want things to be multifaceted. I don't remember if you had another question or if that helped.
It's just mainly just about how you balance all the things that you need to do throughout the day. And it sounds like you're very schedule heavy and making sure that, you're time blocking your time and hitting every parameter, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know that I am. I'm definitely Lance and I were talking a little bit beforehand. When we went to Montana, Brandon Turner talked about, Lance, what is that journal called?
The Intention Journal.
Intention?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lance and I were talking about the Intention Journal is basically like, I'm the one to talk about it. No, I'm not. Like Lance does it, but you time block your day. Like you put your top 3 priorities. I got to get this thing. Yeah. But I live off my phone. I schedule on my phone the things that I need to do. And that's what I wanted. I like a schedule. I even had Carolyn like time block my day for me. So she went through my whole schedule and it was just like from when I wake up to when I go to sleep is like scheduled out, even downtime.
Yeah, gotcha. Speaking of the Montana community event, what was you and Lance were lucky enough to get chosen for that? What was your biggest takeaway from that event?
Lance, what was your biggest takeaway?
Thanks for asking, Justin. I had that written down in front of me. My biggest takeaway was meeting the people that we've been talking to every day in social media, on the podcast, some of the big heavy hitters, like being able to talk to them, one-on-one, hanging out with Miron and a lot of these other action takers was really the biggest takeaway for me. There was so many things, but I think that was like the biggest impact, getting to meet people like Jade and seeing and hanging out with Myron and Carolyn on the river, in Glacier Park, just kind of out hanging out, not just working, but getting to know people on a personal level was huge for me. I got to hang out with Uncle Lanza, went to lunch with Vincent Lanza and his family, and, things like that were really, really big. Yeah, I just loved everything about it. But what about you, Myron?
Vince is so cool, man. He is so easy to talk to. Just a cool dude. Cool,
Yeah, very cool.
California dude.
I did feel bad though. I had to tell him I hadn't watched his trainings yet in Kajabi. So I just started today at the gym watching the Lanza method. But yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff. Justin, my biggest takeaway, you could probably guess, was Cody Barton. He said something that really impacted me and made me think. Is a little diagram, but the quote is that your income level will never outpace your skill level. So you have a skill level, think of like a whatever, 1 through 10, 1 through 100, whatever. Your skill level is like a 5. That's where your income level is going to be. And you may have a month, maybe July, you think you're going to do 100,000, but really you might have a spike, but it will come back down to where your skill level is. So your income level will not outpace your skill level. If you want to make more money, get more skills or get better at what you're doing. That right there was like, dang, that's so true. And so what it's true for me is what true about it is running this business or learning to run a wholesale business. There's a lot more skill than you think, right? You want to run $1 million business, you better know what the heck you're doing. So that for me was like one of the biggest takeaways, that I need to get better at running a business, hiring people. What's the word? I can't think, I'm sorry. Hiring people and getting people more energized on our team. The energy on our team, I feel like, needs to be double what it is. And so I'm thinking, okay, how can I do it? There are some people that are just naturally better at energizing people, right? So I want to surround myself with people who know how to do that, get better at it, get better at building our team. One of the other things that Cody said was even your team, right? So your team today may not be the team that you need in the next year. They also need to be growing, right? That 1% better every day type of thing. If your team is not doing that, like you're not feeding them things to get better, you're actually falling behind. Even if you're staying the same, you're falling behind because everybody else, the industry is moving up. So that kind of stuff, that was like, oh, dang it.
Yeah.
And how can we get better at running our businesses?
Right. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Mike, we're going to take a couple more questions and that's it, guys. I know Myron wants to go spend time with his lovely family, man. So, yeah. So, Mike Baker, come on down.
Hey, how's it going, Myron?
How are you, Mike?
Oh, pretty good. Staying busy.
It's good. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. I kind of had some of my questions answered. I guess kind of, in speaking of all the things you said about social media and stuff, I guess I got one technical question, I guess, and one social media general question, right? One on the social media side. I mean, how important is social media and, getting into that? Like, I spent like 10 years in family court and stuff, and people use social media against you, right? So a bit of a PTSD from that perspective, so how important is that aspect of getting into social media to really grow your business? I know Pace thinks it's really dang important. So,
You know who Alex Hormozi is?
Yeah.
How do you know how did you learn about him?
Actually, I heard about him from someone else. So actually, it was in sub two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know why Alex is so strong on social media?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, the Kylie Jenner story.
Yep.
So we found out Kylie Jenner was a billionaire and he wasn't a billionaire at the time. And he goes, the reason why she's a billionaire is because she's better at social media than I am. So I don't know how to answer that for me because I have like 2,000 people on my Instagram. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a huge following.
But you're growing, and that's kind of why I was asking you as opposed to them, because I know what they think.
Yeah. So for me, it's lead gen.
Okay.
For me, it's lead gen. If I post, so here's a story. It happened yesterday. Happened yesterday. Sorry, my day's blur, brother.
Well, that's okay, but yeah, this is exactly what I'm trying to get to, right? Us small guys, we ain't got Pace's level of social media.
A seller called me on my phone that I had never talked to. She got my number from an agent that saw my reel on Instagram that I call agents in Texas. So I make reels where I'm on the phone closing deals. An agent saw it. She asked me my phone number. She gave my phone number to a seller who cannot sell her house. And the seller double dialed me yesterday. I was like, who is this? I ended up calling them back, and it was a seller trying to sell her house.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea. She's in Temple.
Okay.
So
this is right the road from me. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, here's the difference. Like some people use it to just put their pictures on there, just normal photos. But I'm like, I want it to mean something. So I'm going to put tags on there like, agents, I can help you close your deals. I can help you close no equity deals, agents. I do agent outreach all day long, or our team does. And I want all my social media to be aiming at agents looking. There's some reels out there that agents put out that go viral. I would love to be one of those viral agent reels or whatever.
Right.
And I'd love to buy houses from agents, right? So for me, it was very tactical. Some other people, they just, Pace is putting out stuff because he has a almost 11,000 person mentorship, right? So it makes sense for a lot of those people. But for me, it's tactical to bring in leads and do JV deals with people.
Okay. And as far as your KPIs, you got a team, right? So you tracking on the KPIs for your daily calls and your conversion rates and stuff.
Guys, Mike, I hate that you asked me this question.
That was the technical question I mentioned.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm one of those chronic do-it-yourself guys that just does everything alone. So I'm trying to. We should have like what's the equivalent AA for that, because people like me really need one.
So our KPIs, this is what I have right now. It's somewhere around 25 offers will get me a contract.
LOI offers or
LOI offers. Okay. LOI offers. We ran another KPI on that. It did float up. It was somewhere around 40. But I've seen it typical. Is Jade still on here? I think Jade did a count in July where it was 26 offers got us a contract. So it's floating somewhere around there. As far as calls going out, dude, what I'm going to do is, can I plug somebody's product, Damon?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rick Sheldon has a KPI tracker. If you go into Subto, look up Rick Sheldon. He has a KPI tracker for a CRM. I'm going to buy that. I didn't know if I could plug people's stuff in here, but so that KPI tracker, I don't know about it. I don't have it, but that's going to be my next move, because I get that question quite a bit, is like, well, how many calls are you making? How many offers are you making? Like, I don't have any idea how many calls we're making. I just know how many offers we're making because I can go into my computer and count how many PDFs I have on there. Or
Myron,
Jade
are
has
you-
a tracker on a Google sheet.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Are you using like a dialer, Mojo, or Batch or anything like that? Or are you just
Nope.
hand calling?
Nope. Yep. So like, here's what I do. I pull a list, I put it into a Google sheet, and I give it, like Andres is on our team as well. Andres will take that Google sheet and start calling it.
Mm,
And if he gets a
Okay.
lead, he marks something yellow, and then Jade takes it to an LOI tracker and puts it in her tracker as like a follow-up sheet.
Got it.
Good.
So it's pretty, what would you say, remedial?
Pretty bare bone, yeah.
Pretty bare bones. But I also have ARIA Reply, like a CRM ARIA Reply running SMS campaigns separately. I have one person running all my campaigns. So he'll take those leads and put them into a tracker. This is, we've been doing it for 6 months. So I don't know that that's the answer you guys wanted.
keep hearing, I've heard Pace say 100 calls gets you a contract, right? Basically.
100 calls will get you about 25 LOIs, will get you a contract.
No, that's good. That's great information because, sometimes people are like, oh, the CRMs, this and that. And that's fine. But God, the overhead associated with starting that up is pretty intense when you don't really need it right now and a spreadsheet will work.
So the cool thing about calling agents is I don't have to skip trace. Right. I can pull that right out of PropStream.
Yep.
Export all their emails and their phone numbers and everything, and just take it and give it to somebody, give it to Andres and say, hey man, call this list, and he'll get the leads.
Did target anything specific, like high equity or stuff like that,
Yep.
or low
Agent
equity?
outreach, low equity,
Okay, yeah,
on market, low equity.
cool, man. That's all the questions I had.
I can second that for him as well. Like I'm sure Juan can too. Like for me, in terms of KPIs, between 100, 150 calls to agents, right, will generate something. But if it's off market, it's normally somewhere in the range of 400, 450, somewhere in there. So it's always higher off market, but yeah. So,
Yep.
Okay. Awesome,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
Guys, I truly appreciate all the questions, but most of all, Myron, man, I appreciate you. You and you and your wife are amazing, and you're always willing to give back to everybody, and I appreciate you for that. Time, as I say, is the most important thing that we have, and I am so appreciative of people that are willing to give us a piece of that, man. So thank you very much for coming on, Myron, and thank you for answering everybody's questions. And on that note, guys, let's talk about where you can go find Myron. If you have any deals, how do you get them? Get the deals over to Myron. Myron, can you let everybody know?
Yeah. My Instagram is just my name. I wasn't too creative on that. It's just Miron Briley. And I mean, that's really, I answer DMs on Instagram. Our YouTube is Carolyn and Myron, like that.
Okay.
So I love YouTube. We did it, like I said, Jade and I did a 12-hour live, is basically breaking down PropStream, how to pull a list, how to talk to agents, how to send the deal to us. So I invite everybody to go watch that 12-hour live. It was awesome. Thank you, Jade, for sticking around. But yeah, YouTube, Facebook is my name, Instagram is my name. Love to talk to you. Just send me a message.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. So guys, go blow his YouTube up, go blow his Instagram up, please. And as always, guys, please go over and visit our YouTube, the Creative Collective. And we'll want to continue to bring everybody content. So the more followers we have, the more content we bring, right? So Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Guys, I appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. And talk to everybody later. Thanks, Myron.
Thanks, Myron.
Damon,
Thanks,
thank you.
brother.
Thanks.
Have a great Hi, guys.
Talk to y'all soon.
Thanks. Yeah.